One. Hi, my name is Kushagra.
Hi, I'm Sinan.
We have another teammate, his name is Tom, and we are the Narrative Penguins. Arrow is an open source narrative design tool that uses a node based graph structure for scripting complex storylines that can improve a narrative designer's workflow considerably. It does so by visualizing the story, so the narrative designer can really think about what they're building in an intuitive way. And it's actually a tool that's shipped as a game on Godot, which we thought was quite interesting. It's also open source, which we thought was pretty cool. We realized that there was an opportunity to improve the tool. And to do so, we thought, let's make a narrative assistant. And this narrative assistant can help you with making modifications to your current narrative design project, right? So we'd like to showcase what we've done so far. We have a starter project over here ready. This is Arrow AI, what we have set up. I'm going to double click the starter project and we're in. It just contains a start node and a hello world node, nothing too fancy. And this is the inspector. On the right side, you can actually see the chat box that we've implemented. Here's the narrative assistant. I'm going to connect really quickly. Oh, how may I help you? Well, you know what? Let me start writing my story. First thing I want to do is can you create a node after hello world saying you are very round because the world is round, right? Oh, it looks like it's working on it. It's thinking and it's created a node and it's made a connection. And it's also titled the node as complement, which I thought was pretty cool. But, maybe we can improve the storyline. I don't know, I want something else to be added in. So I was thinking, can you give me a two-brand storyline where the user chooses between apples and oranges and Tom, who's this new character that we're adding in, tells you a fun fact about it. Start this story after the complement node with you. Yeah, just after this complement node. I think that should be more than enough, right? I'm just going to hit enter and see what it does. Looks like it's creating a plan this time. Previously, it was just working on it. Now it's creating a plan. There's a 9-step plan. Okay, what is this 9-step plan about? It's creating a character. I'm assuming that new character is Tom because we've asked it to create that new character. It's made an interaction. It has to choose between apples and oranges. And it's branching as well. And it looks like it's terminated. So let's just have a look at what's going on here. This is cool. So it branches over here and ends. But you know what? I really just want to run this story and see how it behaves. So I'm going to export this to an HTML really quick. A feature built into Arrow, by the way. Here we go. Here's our starter. Hello world. Let's begin our adventure. Compliment. You are very round. Choose apples and orange. I'm going to choose apple. Anonymous. Did you know apples float because 25% of their volume is air? Okay. Thanks so much. I'm going to reload this one and then choose oranges instead. Oranges are actually a type of berry called Hesperidium. What would you like to do next? It just ended the story there. That's pretty cool. I was thinking instead of this, could you really quickly modify Hello World? Because I didn't really like Hello World, right? So I'm going to say, could you modify this node so that it says hello planet instead? Looks like it's working on it. And it's updated the node. Let's take a look. The title is
Hello, the content is
Hello World, but the content is Hello Planet, which means that, it should say Hello Planet now. If I were to export this, go into HTML, select the current folder, hit OK. It says Hello World, Hello Planet, and then you can just go down your path again. This is just a quick introduction to what we've built, right? This tool is more complex. It can do several more things, but in the interest of time, here's other nodes that you can create. Our tool handles creating more of these nodes, and you can have fun experimenting with this. In fact, the fact that you can choose nodes in this way also means that you don't have to start from scratch. You can take your own project and then modify parts of that project in the way that you want. And in fact, it works even better if it has a large project file to work off of. I'll hand it over to Sina now to go over the rest of this.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to explain how the agents work on the background. So we have a server that you can host it by yourself. And when a user question comes through the main orchestrator agent, it first understands if the query is complex or if it's simple. For example, a simple query could be, can you modify this node? For the simple queries, it doesn't plan, but if the query is complex, it comes up with a planning, then it goes to the executor agent. Now, this executor agent has access to the narrative JSON, which is the story you have, all the characters, all the nodes and everything. And it also has access to the list of the tools you can call. So these tools is basically nodes, characters, variables, and scenes that you can create, read, or delete, or modify. And it decides, like, based on the narrative and the task that query asks from it, what to call. And it sends the tool to the client, which is our Arrow project. And this Arrow project returns the response to the server. And it says, after running this tool, this was the status, if it was successful or if it had any error. And it logs everything to the context of the agent, so it can know, like, what went wrong later. And this agent is also capable of deciding if it needs to exit or if it needs to call more functions to be called. And that's it.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that it also supports like full CRUD operations on nodes, characters, variables, and scenes as well. So we can, create, update, and delete all 4 of those kinds of things within our graph, including adding connections to things between nodes, as you saw, automatically too. I'd just like to quickly talk about the fact that the server is open source, right? You just need your own OpenAI API key, then you can host it by yourself on localhost or somewhere online. In fact, if you look into Godot, under Arrow preferences, you can specify which WebSocket you wanted to use, and you can just connect this with localhost or whichever, wherever you posted your server. I think that's pretty much it from our end. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you.